I want to empathize, I want to have a good conversation, but how do I do that? What are these 4 steps? What do I need to do in order to make sure that I am able to empathize? Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's session. Today's session is about 4 steps to empathy in conversations. Now, it sounds very simple, and the concept actually is very simple. The implementation is not easy. Simple things mostly are not easy. It's just simple. The concept is simple, but the implementation is a little difficult to, implement. Having said that, let me start with a question. And the question is, do you feel like, I want to empathize, I want to have a good conversation, but how do I do that? If that's the point that you want to take care of, then today's session is very important for you. Let's take an example. Somebody comes to me and is not in a good mood and comes to me crying. The person tells me everything, and I start my conversation with the statement, "You're such a crybaby." You know what? I killed the conversation right there. I'm sure you would agree on that point. That's not exactly what we want to do. We cannot have quality conversations unless we master the art of empathy. So, the point is very simple. We need to empathize, but then the implementation, the how, the skill of it is not so easy. It's not easy to come for everybody. What are these 4 steps? What do I need to do in order to make sure that I am able to empathize? These are solid steps, and if you just follow them, you'd be able to empathize with people in a very concrete manner. So let's quickly jump onto the topic and let's talk about what are these 4 steps to proper empathy in conversations. The first step uh, is what I just talked about. Somebody comes to me crying, looking for a solution, and I start my conversation with, "Hey, you're such a crybaby," or "You're such a wimp." Let's not do that. Okay. The first step is staying out of judgment. Now, it's not easy because a lot of times we enjoy it, but not really. Let's not do that. That's the first step. But I told you the first step, but it's not so easy. How do we do it is a problem because that's a habit that we have. So we'll need to change this habit. And how do we do that? That's the second step. The second step is to make sure that we see someone else's perspective as their truth. Everybody has a perspective and they find it as their truth. They see it as their own truth. Somebody comes to me and tells me that, lightning happens in the sky because of Thor's hammer. Well, that's that person's truth. That's that particular person's perspective. It doesn't necessarily have to be mine. I need to accept their perspectives as their truth. I might not agree with it, but I'll respect it. I would accept it as their truth. If we are able to train our minds to do this thing, the second step, the first step is already taken care of. We stay out of judgment by seeing other people's perspectives as their truth. Very important. The third point is also something that would challenge you to change one of these habits. And I said these steps are simple, but the implementation is difficult because uh, these steps need you to change something in your habits if you haven't already changed it. If you have, well, congratulations. So, first step, stay out of judgment. Second step, see other people's perspectives as their truth. Then the third step comes up, identify emotions. Soft data and hard data. So if you're listening to people carefully, it doesn't just give you hard data like facts, anecdotes, and figures and stuff. It also talks about soft data. If I'm listening to somebody carefully, not just active listening, but listening with empathy, I would take into consideration the tone of the person. And when that happens, I get to know what are the emotions involved in the conversation, in that person's tone, and I deal with that person accordingly. That is a very important habit. Now, when I do that, I get to know of the emotions that the person is going through. And that gives me the fourth step. Now that I have identified the emotion, I need to tell the other person that, hey, I know what you're going through. Yeah. So you'll need to express that person's emotion back to that person. How do you do that? Somebody comes to me very angry, very frustrated. And I would probably, once the person is done with his or her angry rant, um, I would definitely start my conversation by saying that you sound very frustrated, or it doesn't sound very good, you sound flabbergasted, or simply, oh my God, you sound angry. And then the conversation starts. What happens with this is the moment you say that, I know exactly what your emotions are. You don't have to say it like literally, like, I know exactly what your emotions are. That's very robotic. But since you've identified the emotion already in step 3, you can now express that emotion. Let that person know that, hey, I know what you're going through. So when you say that, hey, you sound very angry, or you sound frustrated, or it could be any emotion, you sound very happy, wow. This is the outcome of the first 3 steps that you took. And this is the implementation, the actual thing that comes out. But in order for this to happen, you'll have to take care of the first 3 steps first. So, repeating the steps. Number 1, stay out of judgment. How to do that? Step number 2, see other person's perspective as their truth. If you're able to do that, you'll always stay out of judgment. Third step, because you're listening to somebody carefully with empathy, at least, intrinsic empathy, then you would definitely be able to find out the soft data, the emotion that the person is going through. Once that happens, you're ready to express it back. And that, my friends, is empathy in conversation. Steps are simple, but the implementation will ask you to change certain habits. So it may take some time. If you're watching it live, very well, you could watch the rebroadcast as well and see what these 4 steps are, implement these, and I'm sure you'd be fine with expressing empathy in your conversations. So steps are simple, but the implementation is not that simple. So take this challenge, help yourselves. I'll see you in the next live stream. Take care, guys, and please comment down below and let me know of your feedback, or if you have any demands on soft skills, you could let me know if there's any topic you're interested in. Take care. I'll see you in the next. Stay connected.